You hear this brutal statistic all the time. 9 out of 10 digital side hustles fail, often before they've even had a real chance. But what are the successful 10% doing differently? I can tell you this, it's not luck and it's not secret tricks. It's about avoiding a handful of fatal mistakes that almost everyone falls into. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what they are and give you a clear plan so you don't become one of the 9. The idea is electrifying, isn't it? To finally turn your passion into a profession, escape the 9-to-5 grind, or simply build a second secure stream of income. Thousands start with this exact dream every month. You see the success stories on Instagram, the glamorous laptop lifestyle pictures, and the promises of passive income while sipping cocktails on the beach. But for the vast majority, the reality is completely different. Instead of financial freedom, pure frustration. Instead of passive income, exhausting nights that lead absolutely nowhere. Instead of fulfillment, total overwhelm. After a few months, the dream bursts. The project is quietly buried, and it's dismissed with a shrug and an, "I guess it wasn't for me." I've seen this cycle countless times, and yes, at the very beginning of my journey, I made many of these mistakes myself. But the good news is, these mistakes aren't rocket science. You can recognize them, you can understand them, and, most importantly, you can avoid them. So stick around, we're going to break them down together right now. The first fatal mistake that kills countless dreams is the shiny object syndrome. This constant chase for the next big thing. A few years ago, it was dropshipping from China. Suddenly, everyone wanted to become an e-commerce millionaire overnight. Then came the Amazon FBA fever, closely followed by crypto, NFTs, and now it's AI-driven automation agencies. The gurus on YouTube and TikTok praise a new, supposedly surefire way to get rich quick every week, and a shocking number of people jump on board. They buy an expensive course, grind through the basics for 3 weeks, and when the promised windfall doesn't arrive after a month, the next shiny object is already glittering on the horizon, and the circus starts all over again. The result? You become a master of starting, but a master of nothing. You have superficial knowledge of 5 business models, but not a single deep skill that's actually worth something on the market. A successful side hustle isn't a lottery ticket. It's built on the foundation of a real skill that solves a real problem for others. Whether that's brilliant copywriting, professional graphic design, effective social media management, or creating top-tier online courses, building a real competency takes time and focus. Anyone who just chases trends is building their house on sand. When the hype dies down, and it always does, everything collapses, and you're left empty-handed again. The second mistake is a direct consequence of the first, but it's so common it deserves its own mention: trying to do everything at once. I like to call this the general store dilemma. Sound familiar? Someone decides to start with affiliate marketing. Great choice. But instead of going all in, their mind starts racing. Okay, I need a blog, and a YouTube channel to promote the blog. And a podcast wouldn't be bad either. Oh, and I need to be active on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn to maximize my reach. Within weeks, this one person is trying to do the work of a blogger, a video producer, a podcaster, and a social media manager for 5 platforms, all while holding down a 40-hour-a-week main job. That's not a recipe for success. It's a first-class ticket to burnout. Each of these platforms has its own rules, requires its own content, and eats up an incredible amount of time. If you spread your energy across 10 different construction sites, you won't make significant progress on any of them. The quality suffers, consistency goes out the window, and motivation plummets because you're working everywhere but seeing results nowhere. The successful 10% do the exact opposite. They pick one channel and one business model and give it their full attention. For 6, 12, or even 18 months, they become the master of that one thing. Only when that system is stable and making money do they even think about maybe adding a second channel. In all this digital noise, focus isn't an option, it's your superpower. The third mistake is perhaps the most bitter because so much passion and work has often already been invested, just in the completely wrong direction. It's the mistake of building a product that you think is brilliant, but that nobody out there actually needs or wants. You fall in love with your own idea instead of with the customer's problem. Imagine a passionate hobby photographer. He decides to sell an online course. He locks himself away for 6 months, records 80 hours of video material explaining every technical nuance of astrophotography in minute detail. He invests thousands of dollars in equipment and a fancy website. He proudly launches the course and sells 3 copies. 2 of them to his mother and his best friend. What went wrong here? He never asked the market. He never researched if there were enough people willing to spend money on such a highly complex niche topic. Maybe people would have much preferred a simple beginner's course on smartphone portraits. Maybe his target audience's real problem wasn't the technical knowledge, but simply the fear of picking up the camera in the first place. A side hustle is a business, and every business solves a burning problem for a specific group of people. Before you invest even 1 minute in developing your product, talk to potential customers. Find their pain points, their frustrations, their desires. Ask them what they would actually spend money on. Only when you understand what the market wants do you start building the solution for it. Mistake number 4 is the silent killer of every creative project: perfectionism. It's that deep-seated fear of publishing something that isn't 110% perfect. This fear likes to disguise itself as high-quality standards, but in reality, it's just a very clever excuse to avoid taking action. You see it everywhere. The aspiring blogger who has been polishing their perfect first article for 8 months but never posts it. The future podcaster who has already recorded 10 episodes but holds them back because the audio doesn't sound quite like a professional radio studio. The developer who won't launch their app because one tiny, insignificant feature is still missing. The problem with this? While you're waiting in your quiet room for the divine inspiration of perfection, out there in the real world nothing is happening. You're getting no feedback, you're not building a community, you're not learning from the market, you're not making any money, you're at a standstill. You become the biggest obstacle to your own, actually good ideas, because you don't dare to subject them to a reality check. The most successful people follow a simple mantra: done is better than perfect. They release a version 1.0, a good functional product, even if it doesn't do everything yet. They put the video out, even if the lighting isn't Hollywood level. They launch the blog, even if the design isn't final. Why? Because it's the only way they get the most valuable asset of all: real feedback from real people. And that feedback is infinitely more valuable than months of pondering over theoretical perfection. The last and perhaps most common reason people fail is also the most human. They give up because success doesn't happen overnight. We live in a world of instant gratification. We expect quick results, and that expectation is pure poison for building a sustainable business. Many people start with a huge burst of motivation. They work through the night, they sacrifice weekends. But when the YouTube channel only has 50 subscribers after 2 months, the blog gets hardly any clicks, or no customer has reached out yet. Motivation collapses like a house of cards. The thought creeps in: this just isn't working, I'm wasting my time. The initial euphoria turns into disappointment, and the project is buried, often just a few weeks or months before it would have started to bear its first fruit. If you ask experts, this is one of the main reasons for failure: a lack of perseverance. Building an online business is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It takes months, sometimes even years, to build trust, form a community, and generate a reliable income. Those who make it aren't necessarily the most talented. They are the most persistent. They are the ones who keep going even when the numbers are still tiny. The ones who celebrate every small victory: the first 100 followers, the first nice comment, the first dollar earned. They understand that stoic consistency over a long period is the real key. They don't stop when they're tired. They stop when they're done. Okay, now we know the death traps. But what's the plan to join the successful 10%? It's surprisingly simple, but not easy. It's basically the exact opposite of the 5 mistakes. Skill over hype. Forget about the next big thing. Pick a valuable skill you genuinely want to master: writing, design, marketing, coding, and get damn good at it. Focus like a laser. One business model, one main channel. Become the expert there. Say no to everything else. Your mantra: depth over breadth. Problem first, solution second. Become a detective. Find out what's causing your target audience pain. Talk to them. Fall in love with their problem, not your own brilliant idea. Start imperfectly, but start. Get it out there. Get feedback. Improve it as you go. Your first version won't be your last, but it has to exist to get better. Be a marathon runner. Set realistic goals for 3, 6, and 12 months. Understand that this is a long-term project. Celebrate the small wins and stay on the ball, even when it feels like a snail's race at the beginning. Let's recap the 5 knockout blows one more time: chasing trends, having no focus, ignoring the market, paralyzing perfectionism, and giving up too soon. Every single one of these mistakes can shatter the dream of your own online business. But now you know the traps. And more importantly, you know the plan to avoid them. Now it's up to you to bring this plan to life. with focus, patience, and the will to work for your goals. If this honest insight was valuable to you, then leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more practical tips, without any false promises. And now it's your turn. Write in the comments which of these mistakes you see most often or have perhaps even made yourself. Your experiences are incredibly helpful to the entire community here. Thanks for watching, and remember, knowing the mistake is the first step to avoiding it.